Alright guys, welcome back to Joe's Reef, and in today's video we're going to be talking about what's better to feed your system, Reef Roids or BenePets, the BeneReef products. So which one is better? Okay, it's going to jump right into it. So as far as Reef Labs, the Reef Roids is basically just marine plankton, so phytoplankton, and there's also an ingredient called zooplankton that this one is known to have, and that's pretty much just going to be feeding your filter feeding corals such as your SPS and maybe some clams, things like that. But this one, as far as the BeneReef, the reef food that they have, BeneReef, you guys can see that this is going to be a whole system kind of food. So the food particles range from 3 to 3,000 microns. So it's definitely a product that's going to feed your entire tank, even your fish and your invertebrates. There's different size particles food in there. It also has the phytoplankton as well as many other ingredients that is going to feed your entire system with this. Now with both of these products, it is recommended to feed them about 1 to 2 twice a week. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to be feeding my system. Another thing as well, if you want to give your bigger corals like your acans and your anemones, definitely also I use frozen brine shrimp, things like that, or mysis shrimp to add into what I'm going to make to feed my tank, to feed also my fish, bigger size things, as well as my anemones. If you want your anemones to grow, you definitely want to feed them something a little larger in size, which I'm going to do here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started showing you guys how I feed my display tank as well as my corals. And what I pretty much use is I just have a little container here that's empty, as well as a needleless syringe that I use to target feed some of the corals. And I go ahead and fill this up with just a little bit of my aquarium water, and then I add the reef food in this and let it kind of set for about 5 minutes before adding it into the tank. Here we go, guys. So here is the BenePets BeneReef, and here's a list of the ingredients so you guys can see. So it's definitely gonna feed your entire tank. So you guys can look at the ingredients. It does have plankton as well as brine shrimp and a lot of other things in there. And this is the reef food. It's gonna enhance the growth, the colors, and things like that. But the BeneReef also has probiotics in there as well. You guys can see here, live probiotics that are gonna help with the fish and so on. And here's kind of what it looks like. As you guys can see, different size microns in there with the food. It's gonna feed pretty much the entire tank. My fish go after this and eat it as well. And then here we have the Reef Roids. As you guys can see, it has the they recommend the zooplankton ingredients, marine planktons. So that one's got a lot more ingredients in it. And then I just have the brine shrimp. You guys can see here, frozen brine shrimp, just frozen. I just thaw this in the water, the aquarium water. And then here is the Reef Roids. As you guys can see, basically a really fine powder. So yeah, I just get a little bit of aquarium water in here. Not a lot, you guys can, just a little bit. And that might even be a little too much. Yeah, so you definitely don't need too much. So here they are both together. You can see the Reef Roids more like a powder. This kind of has bigger little particles. So I'm just gonna add a little bit into my water just so you guys can kind of see the difference with the particle size. on the micron size. I'm just gonna use my finger, get it wet, put it in. Just show you guys a little bit. So here we are with the, here's the Reef Roids. So as you can see, it's a very fine kind of powder, really. So really nothing that the fish are really gonna eat. So now let me go in with the BeneReef one. You guys can see here. Go right into the water with it. As you guys can already see, there's a lot bigger of particles coming off of it, right? And watch, my fish are already going after it. As you guys can see, they're eating pieces out of the water columns, you guys can see. So yeah, you guys can see big pieces floating around. So yeah, definitely the fish do eat it. So now if you guys want to make an ultimate kind of reef thing, go ahead and drop some mysis shrimp into that aquarium water that we got, right? Just drop a little bit of that, a cube of that, into some water, aquarium water that we got, that we're gonna let sit, right? And then go in with just some of that reef powder. I used to have a little measuring spoon, but I don't know what happened to it, so I'm just gonna use my fingers. Just grab some of this out of there, and just kind of sprinkle it in there, right? To make like a kind of a slurry. Right, and then even add some Reef Roids in there, why not? Right, and then I'm gonna target feed this to basically my coral, my tank. So let that sit, mix it up for a couple minutes. Just gonna put the rest that's on my fingers in the tank. But yeah, so let that sit for a couple minutes, and I'll go in and target feed the coral. Alright guys, so it's been a couple minutes. As you guys can see, everything's dissolved. I got kind of like a slurry of mysis, Reef Roids, and the BeneReef mixture. So make sure to have your pumps off before feeding. And I'm just gonna go ahead and feed this into the aquarium with a needleless syringe. Okay, so here we go. I went ahead and sucked it up into my needleless syringe here. I'm gonna go in and just kind of feed my fish, my coral, everything. So yeah, this, squirt it into the anemones. Even into my frog spawn. But as you can see, my fish are also going to town on the bigger pieces. Got my rock flower anemone here. Feed the Poeciloporas. Yeah, right, so this kind of missed everything kind of lightly with it. That I think we'll take it in. Got my zoas here. Right, so feed those guys with it. And then I got a little bit extra in here, so I'm just gonna dump this in to display. And then you can see the fish going after everything in there with the mysis and the BeneReef. So yeah, as you can see, pretty much everything's feeding on it. Even see if you can see this on the green slimer, but you can see each little kind of polyp kind of opening, closing, kind of absorbing the food. Top view here for you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do to feed the system, like twice a week, just to make sure everything's healthy in there. So who do I think the winner of the best kind of all-in-one reef feeding product I think you should use, reef food? I would personally say that I think the BeneReef is the winner, because you're going to get an all-in-one product. It's going to feed your entire reef, like I said, those different sizes as far as the reef food goes. As far as the Reef Roids is basically just a phytoplankton, so you're pretty much just getting small kind of particles in there. As far as this, has phytoplankton and other ingredients in there, as well as probiotics. So if I had to choose between the two, I would go with the BeneReef, the reef food. But if you want to go a little above and beyond, why not get both and feed the tank a mixture of foods? But if you're just going to get the one, I would definitely recommend the BeneReef, kind of the reef food. So that's my favorite, that's my opinion. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys feed your systems. What are you guys feeding your tanks on, like a daily or weekly basis, and how do you feed them? So go and leave those in the comments. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button.